Indian intelligence agencies and the Delhi Police Crime Branch yesterday busted one of the most high-profile spy rings being run by Pakistan on Indian soil. A staffer in the Pakistan High Commission was detained while he was exchanging sensitive information from two of his Indian conduits. Mahmood Akhtar, of course, enjoys diplomatic immunity. He has since been released but has been given 48 hours to get out of the country.
The most high-profile spy ring to be busted in India. A Pakistan High Commission staffer directly reporting to envoy Abdul Basit running a well-oiled espionage racket. The bust came during a planned rendezvous of Pak spy ring mastermind Mahmood Akhtar with his Indian conduits. A clandestine meeting planned near Delhi Zoo. Ramzan and Subhash, residents of Rajasthan's Nagaur, were about to hand over sensitive military documents to the Pakistani officials. That was when a team of Delhi Special Cell officials swooped down to nab the spies. The Pakistan official first tried to brazen it out, brandishing a fake Aadhaar card, but cops soon called his bluff.
In this module, he was the mastermind of that part which was interacting with the Indian spies. So his handlers are much senior.
The spy ring had penetrated deep. Maps of defense establishment, list of BSF officials on border and visa documents were recovered from them. Mahmood, the spy ring linchpin, was a Jawan in Pakistan's Baloch regiment before being roped in by the ISI and sent to India. While Mahmood was let off after he invoked diplomatic immunity, India summoned Pakistan envoy Abdul Basit to lodge an official protest.
The Foreign Secretary also strongly conveyed to the Pakistan High Commissioner that the Pakistan High Commission must ensure that none of its members indulge in activities inimical to India or behave in a manner that is incompatible with their diplomatic status.
The Pakistan staffer was declared unwanted and asked to leave India. Pakistan added to its charade by lodging a counter-protest with New Delhi, slamming what it called harassment of its staffer. With Atir Khan in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
But does this not leave the role of the High Commissioner himself under a cloud? The Pakistan High Commissioner to India. What should and what will the Indian government do next now that this lid has been blown off this massive spy ring? We've got Shiv Shankar Mukherjee, former Indian diplomat, joining us on News Today. Good evening, sir. Thanks for sparing time for us. Atul Anjan, National Secretary of the CPI. Lieutenant General B.S. Jaswal, former Army Commander of the Northern Command, is also live with us. And in a while from now, we'll be joined by a leader of the PMLN, Jan Achakzai, live from Islamabad. I want to ask you first, General Jaswal, could the High Commissioner not have known there is this elaborate spy ring being run by a staffer apparently in the visa division and the High Commissioner is blissfully unaware?
Impossible. It is under his directions, his wings, that such like activities are done and he's kept in the loop. Isn't he also doing the same? When he's meeting our Hurriyat leaders, all kinds of information exchanged by him. So he is the mastermind over here. But what I feel very sorry is that yes, fine, we have got this chap who was the lower rung guy. What about the accountability of the ambassador himself? All along, he has been creating situations over here in India, and I think since we have drawn the red lines, we have a reason to send back the High Commission back to Pakistan. Once we are in a position of strength over here today, we have taken a very offensive stance against Pakistan. We should not let go of this position of strength. Prudence says so. They have faltered, and look at the himakat of Basit. He's levying counter allegations against India. I mean, that's a height of absurdity.
Oh, absolutely. According to him, a man who was in possession, found in possession, red-handed in fact, sir, with sensitive defense information, was actually harassed by the Delhi Police Crime Branch. That's what the High Commissioner told us today. So, Mr. Mukherjee, let me get you in on this. Is it not time then to draw the red lines all the diplomatic niceties aside? Militarily, we've done it. How about doing it diplomatically, given what has been uncovered today?
Well, you know, that's a matter for the government to decide really in the overall context, and I stress that. I don't think you make very important decisions like that based on one specific incident. As far as the spying thing is concerned, let me just point out a couple of things. Number one, spying is the second oldest profession on this planet. Spying is part of international relations, particularly from those countries who have international strategic interests and those countries which are sworn enemies of each other, like and Pakistan, there is absolutely no doubt, judges all its actions and its efficacy in terms of how much damage it can do India. So I'm not at all surprised that a spy is in the pay, is part of the diplomatic strength of the Pakistani High Commission. I'm sure there must be lots of others.
No, but my question is, given all the events of the last 2 years, especially since 2014, Mr. Mukherjee, sorry to interrupt you, but this is not the first time. From having Mr. Basit engage with separatists, to him then saying we dedicate our Independence Day to the freedom struggle of the Kashmiris, to now having a spy ring being run under his very nose. Isn't then there a case made out against Mr. Basit himself?
You will recall. No, look, let's get real for a bit. You'll recall I began by saying that it's, government, I hope and I'm sure, will not frame its policy based on one specific incident. You are narrating a whole litany of things that has been done by Pakistan, where the Pakistani High Commissioner also has added fuel to the fire locally. Now, look, as I said, realistically speaking, the Pakistan High Commissioner, and let's contextualize, he is the Pakistani High Commissioner from a country that is totally and completely existentially hostile to India. His job is to serve his masters, and his masters have told him to pursue Pakistani national interest, not promote good relations with India. Let's just forget that. So basically, he is following his country's orders. It's up to us to react in the way, judging by the series of incidents that you referred to.
Agreed, but then General Jaswal, our job is then to nip this in the bud, to stop it. Of course, he is serving Pakistan's interests, which is exactly opposite to our interests. So it's our job, our government's job, to stop it.
Yeah, Padmaja, I appreciate what Mr. Mukherjee is saying. Mr. Mukherjee, my only observation is one. All these niceties, etc., which you are talking in a diplomatic language, are extended to a country who deserves it. We have reached a particular stretch point where we have to act tough. A small incident also sparks off a larger reaction. This is a small incident, all countries do it, that's fine. But we have reasons, and I'm sorry to say, this is that soft line towards Pakistan from diplomats which are there. Of course, it's their job to be soft and nice and sophisticated, absolutely fine. You are very sophisticated, very kind in your words. But that's not the need of the hour as of now to humble Pakistan. We have to take steps wherein Pakistan feels the pain of every action which it takes. The cost-benefit part of it.
If I might just interrupt,
and we are not
Jaswal,
doing it.
please.
There's no time to play niceties with Pakistan.
Nobody is talking about. Nobody is talking about.
If you don't mind, Mr. Mukherjee.
General Jaswal.
Mr. Mukherjee, can I finish?
Yes.
If you don't mind.
Please
finish,
carry on.
Mr.
Please
Mukherjee?
carry on.
Please
carry on.
With due respect.
Yes,
Thank you.
indeed.
Yeah, with due respect, you, like I said, you have given a very fine diplomatic philosophy, which should be the one. But it is related to the prevailing situation, which is not for niceties as of now.
Okay.
What you were saying, single action, you're true, 100%. In normal situations, yes, we should not take note of that. But we have reached a pitch. We have laid red lines wherein we are in a position of strength in every way, and we have said so unequivocally that we will take on Pakistan in every
Okay,
measure.
sir, I'll let Mr. Mukherjee respond to that before I also get in the other guests.
There are.
So I'll quickly let Mr. Mukherjee respond to that. Yes, sir, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to rejoin. Nobody is talking about soft or not soft or diplomatic niceties. What I said, and I said it, I think, quite clearly, and I don't think there was any scope for misunderstanding or misinterpretation, that you do not make policy on matters affecting national security based on one single incident. And that was all I said, and I stick by that.
All right.
Now, as far as dealing with Pakistan's perfidy is concerned, look, Pakistan's history of actions against India starts from war to terrorism of the worst kind.
Yes.
So, and this may be a tipping point. The fact remains that I think we've dealt with it in the way it should be dealt with. The Vienna Convention does not allow diplomatic immunity to be abridged or diluted. Therefore, you had to let him go, and you can declare him persona non grata and kick him out, which has been done. In what sense to react to Pakistan is, I mean, and this is where I differ from General Jaiswal, is not on the basis of one little specific, or little or big specific incident, but in the totality of things. You know, this question of people who are misusing the diplomatic status
Right.
is not the first time it's happened in India by Pakistan. If memory serves me right, there was a very senior Pakistani diplomat who went on to become a foreign secretary, who was posted in Delhi and then kicked out by us, who's now the Pakistani ambassador to the US. So all I'm saying is that spying is a commonplace. It's not by itself something that leads to a huge reaction by us. As I said, please note, by itself.
All right, let me
the totality
also.
of things, it's a different matter.
All right, so let me also
And
get
don't
in
forget-
Jan Achakzai.
And don't forget, friends also spy on friends.
Well, I don't think we're dealing with a friend here. I
No,
think
if I
recent
can
events
just
have shown us
complete,
very clearly
spy-
we're not dealing with a friend here, sir.
No.
Please just bear with me because I also want to get in the other speakers.
Precisely.
Now, Jan Achakzai, why shouldn't your High Commissioner also be sent back?
Well, I think this is an Indian provocation, again, as part of its non-conventional diplomatic warfare against Pakistan. Pakistan has not reacted so far. I think why there has been no response so far by sending off the Indian High Commissioner sitting in Islamabad, and also the incident that took place in Quetta the other day, where the India was,
I'm sorry, what is the provocation again? I didn't quite get that. What exactly says the provocation? That we got a High Commission staffer with maps, with documents, with troop movement details in his possession, and we detained him. And that is completely unreasonable on our part.
I think that's a typical Indian propaganda. You said the same thing about Yuri and Ramallah attack. Now we have Gulbashan Yadav. We arrested in Balochistan. 2-3 days before, there was Indian chatter involving Iran and India's connection in the Quetta blast. So I think this is the time Pakistan has the right to increase the cost for India's involvement in the non-conventional warfare in Balochistan. And
so when you're
despite that,
talking about an
Pakistan has
unconventional war, you're
acted
basically going to use your High Commission as a nerve center for a spying ring, Mr. Achakzai. That's your idea of an unconventional
what I'm saying
war.
is that now we are facing an aggression by India's non-conventional warfare. That is also a diplomatic warfare, and declaring somebody persona non grata who is a diplomat against all arms and declaring him as a spy is simply unacceptable.
Well,
and
I may be
Pakistan,
mistaken, but General
within
Jaiswal
its right.
has the leader of the PMLN just admitted that diplomacy is also a mode of warfare between two countries who are at odds?
Well, I don't know, I feel like laughing. All along, they kept needling us for so long. We've not even touched them as yet, and they've started feeling the pain, and all kinds of false blames are coming up. Diplomacy can be a form of war. When you shape the environment against another country, it's an indirect approach. So diplomacy can become a form of war. As a matter of fact, I'm forgetting the name of the author. In that, he talks of art of warfare, and he says diplomacy can be an important tool in shaping the war against a particular country.
Okay.
But in any case, what I'm trying to say, all statements which are coming out are absolutely fine, what Mr. Mukherjee, etc., he has said so far. You see, these are within the spectrum of idle diplomatic relations. When we have a nation, when it comes over here, presents its credentials in good faith, and they don't adhere to the credentials, you know, in whatever form, the way they've been needling us, I don't think they deserve to be treated with niceties.
Absolutely.
And this single incident is not really a single incident. You see, it is a collective, culmination of various events which are coming up, and also taking our stretch point into view. How much can we bear anymore?
And because,
So
Mr.
even a
Achak, this is not the
push
first time it has happened
that
to your
can break
diplomats.
that.
Earlier in 2015, your diplomat in Dhaka was sent back. We had Miss Farina Arshad being sent back after she was found to have links with terror groups. She was thrown out by Dhaka. Now it's happened in India. Earlier, another one of your diplomats in Colombo faced the same charges of espionage.
Well, that is the Indian. Yeah, that is the Indian narrative, that you play innocent while forgetting the fact that simply you are undermining Pakistan's sovereignty by locking up, the LOC, by interfering in Balochistan, and by admitting that you have carried out the so-called surgical strike. Yet Pakistan has not imposed any cost on India
Mr.
despite this
Achak,
provocation.
I'm asking you about how your diplomats are constantly used by the ISI to spy on countries.
Well,
and you're going off into Balochistan.
Yes, what I'm saying is that India simply has been leading this narrative that is hiding its terrorism by accusing Pakistan through diplomatic warfare.
And apparently so is Dhaka and Colombo then. But Mr. Anjan, let me ask you, isn't this now a point
they are part of
where maybe diplomatic niceties also need to be set aside? If nothing is sacrosanct, if even diplomats are going to be working as spies,
thank you at least,
or ringleaders of spy networks.
Thank you at least at the fag end of. Thank you at the fag end. Thank you for at the fag end of discussion. You are asking me to comment. Our two gentlemen were discussing. We don't know what is the diplomacy. We don't know what is the war tactics. Everybody knows in this country last 6 months, each and everything is being discussed. What has happened, and Cabinet Committee on Security is what discussed. It is put on the television. So Pakistan doesn't require any what transpired there to know. From our television, everybody is knowing it. Now the point is this. It is not the new thing. Pakistan is not our very friendly country. They will do whatever they want to do it. The question in the past also, some of the employees, some of the diplomats working in the Pakistan High Commissioner, they were also caught red-handed. But we have to make our mechanism so strong, so such type things are not happened. Finally, we have sent him. Okay, very good. Now, Mr. High Commissioner of the Pakistan, what action we can take? Yes, we can send. The retaliatory measure will be that. I am telling you, tomorrow somebody will be sent from the Indian High Commissioner from Pakistan back to India. We sent their High Commissioner, they will send our High Commissioner.
So what is your point? Should we lay low just for fear of retaliation?
Both High Commissions in both the countries I am putting, Baba. No, what you want? You want what you want? I should speak. I have seen. I am discussing. General is speaking many things. He has not said anything what the final culmination should be there. All these things are being said. I know. I just want to say, India is a democratic country. Pakistan is not a democratic country.
So, sir, in the name of democracy, we should allow diplomats to engage in any kind of activity. Is that what you're saying?
Democracy means the right of the minorities protected, and your minorities are not protected. So don't blame Pakistan. India is not a democracy.
You want a closer. From India today we want
your people.
Just a minute.
Please stop going off on this
Pakistan
tangent.
is doing all sorts of things. Pakistan is trying to create problems. Pakistan is they're trying to have, you see, all sorts of unrest in this country. Cross-border terrorism cannot be tolerated for long, and we have to begin.
Mr. Achak, we were trying to have the same discussion here, and you've managed to completely derail it with this tangential argument you brought in. Can you please let Mr. Anjan finish his point?
The country should close their high commissions. I think
that's what I'm asking you, Mr. Anjan. No, the High Commission doesn't have to be closed. But we can tell the diplomats who are engaging in activities like these that they will be turned...
From the Pakistan speaking, you don't know what is democracy. You don't know, even in your own country, you do not do justice with those. One faith people, though you believe one, you declare one section that they are non-Islamic. What sort of state you are running? What sort of state you are running in Pakistan? And you are trying to give us... This is your tendency Democracy.
Okay, Mr. Achakrai, please.
You have not
Mr.
yet
Achakrai,
decided.
Mr. Anjan, please, we will not engage in this
All these questions are
pointless
there.
back and
Don't try to
forth.
tell us.
Can we please turn down the audio for Mr. Achakrai? Mr. Anjan, can you please complete your point? Do you think that finally it's time to read the Riot Act to the people from Pakistan, even if they are housed in the High Commission, especially the High Commissioner himself?
I just want to say that we should put our house in order. We should be very vigilant. I know the Pakistan High Commission, everybody in this country knows. The Pakistan High Commissioner creates problem. Their office creates the problem. When they bring this Hurriyat people, what they make? They want to create a situation like that. So we must be alert. We must know it. But I agree what Mr. Mukherjee said, but I don't understand what General spoke. What General spoke, I don't know. You tell what is to be done. I think in this last conclusion of this discussion, it is not, we are not interested to close down our High Commissioner. India should close down the Pakistani High Commissioner. Pakistan should close down the... It is not.
No, I think I'll let General Jaswal himself explain what he thinks the conclusion will be. And then I'll give the final word to Mr. Mukherjee. Yes, General Jaswal, you please respond to that and then Mr. Mukherjee.
No. There is no necessity.
Mr. Anjan, please kindly listen. You have had your say. You have had your say. Let me speak something.
I little bit understand military
science also. Can I speak, please? Can I speak?
No. You go on.
Mr. Anjan, thank you. You know better than me.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, please kindly allow me. Mr. Anjan, I don't think my eloquence is that absurd that it's not understood. I had laid down few points which are very crystal clear. What is the accountability of Basit? 2, I personally feel that we have reached our stretch point. Small little incidents also break. There is no further scope of stretching the elastic. And that theory which I was saying, read the Machiavellian theory on diplomacy as a tool of war. That will tell you as to what how diplomacy is used. I don't understand as to how come you're saying that you not understood what I'm saying. I've said absolutely clearly what are the actions. He should be, the High Commission should be closed because we don't want a nation over here which has no credentials and they're not abiding by the initial credentials that they presented to the President of India, that we will abide. Yeah, you may laugh at it, sorry, it's a bad manners to laugh at someone, but I don't appreciate that. But I'm sure I was very, very clear in my statement. If you don't understand, I'm sorry, then you haven't understood.
Okay, final word to Mr. Shivshankar Mukherjee.
Laughing is,
Sir,
you know.
the problem is right now, according to what we are learning, is that there could be several more people who have been cultivated by these people inside the Pakistan High Commission and several more inside the High Commission itself. Isn't the time ripe for a clean-up? Final word to you.
Well, it is high time for a cleanup, but I do not think it's something perhaps that you have in mind or General Jaswal has in mind. Cleaning up is very necessary on our side because we must find out from the encouraging thing is that we bust the spy ring. The interrogation should reveal where our leaks were, how did they happen. We have to shore up our own security. That's point number 1. And I'm still speaking of this specific incident. The fact that there was a spy who was misusing his diplomatic status in the Pakistan embassy does not surprise me. They are here to misuse or use every bit of their ammunition, whatever they have, including diplomatic immunity, to figure out ways of doing damage to India. It is an enemy state. There's no two ways about it. Where I would add a comment in terms of what we do about it is what I said in the beginning, that we have had actually far more vicious provocations from the Pakistani side, and it's happening even daily. Forget Mumbai and Kargil and Pathankot and Udhampur and so on. So I'm pretty sure that our government, as it has been doing diplomatically and militarily, will decide what to do with Pakistan in a calibrated way. But this spy incident I simply don't join in the chorus that it's some huge thing that has never happened before and will never happen again.
We leave it at that. We've
Unfortunately,
weeded
as I
out.
said,
We've weeded out the people who
even-
are actually working against our national interests. But how will we deal with the fountainhead of this entire problem? We leave it to the government on that. Thank you very much for an informed perspective, all the gentlemen who joined us on our